Okay, my name is Cody Goranson, and today's video we are going to be talking about athletic landing position and kind of like your basic athletic stance. Okay, first I'm going to show you guys, then I'll tell you the steps and directions on how to get into that stance. Okay, I'll show you front view. Okay, and then I'll show you side view here. Might not be perfect for me, okay, but you're gonna have feet shoulder width apart, okay? Then we're gonna bend the knees probably about 45-60 degrees. Then we're going to hinge forward at the hips slightly, okay? So slight hinge, and then now my back, I'm going to bring my chest, stick my chest up, and I'm going to pull my shoulder blades down and back. And arms, we're going to extend backwards. And just like this is your athletic landing position and basic athletic stance, right? Think about basketball, right? Think about side shuffles, okay? But now, back to jumps. Very important when doing them. You want to have your head up. You want to be looking up, okay? And then your back is going to be mostly straight, slightest of lordosis here. And then your spine and head will be aligned, okay? But the importance of having this athletic landing position, okay, compared to, I don't know, landing any other way possible, landing on your knees, letting yourself fall, something I see a lot with children at work, okay, which we'll talk about shortly. But important, very, very important for impact dispersal, okay? When landing like that in that position, when landing like that in that position, right, you allow large muscle groups in your body to absorb the shock or the force of you landing, okay? Some of those muscles absorbing that shock, quads, hamstrings, glutes, okay? Important for your posterior chain as well, okay? To get that help absorbing that shock. All right. Your pelvis is stabilized and kind of in a locked position thanks to your erectors and your glutes. So you're nice and safe here. Your hips are okay. Those should not hurt. You won't have pain in your hip joints when landing. And also very, very good for your ligaments in your knees, okay? A lot of knee injuries happen from jumping. But I would say probably more so from landing than it is from the actual jump itself, okay? That being said, some of the things that happen when we jump and land, even thinking of a squat, right? Your knees will cave inward, which is bad, very bad for your ligaments, okay? So, helping you absorb that shock and land to your muscles will also help your muscles keep your knees and your joints stabilized where they're supposed to be. So see, instead of caving inward or caving outward, my knees get to stay aligned with my toes, okay? I want them aligned with my second and third toe, okay? And then now, very important as well, in rebound readiness, okay? Landing like this kind of puts you in a position to be able to jump again, okay? Think about basketball, right? In basketball, usually sometimes when we're rebounding, it gets a little crazy. The ball is bouncing around in the air from hand to hand, and we're jumping multiple times, right? In 2K, video game, there's a badge called Pogo Stick. That's for jumping up and down faster and more consecutively, the higher your badge. So, for example, I'll show you guys. At work with children, I coach a fitness program called Kids Strong. We do squat jumps, okay? But, well, we're showing them broad jumps. Sometimes it's squat jumps, okay? But we always go through this same range of motion, following the same steps, which is step 1, hands up. Step 2, hands back and bend the knees. Look at the position that I'm in. And I teach this to 1 to 11-year-olds, okay? And this is their basic steps for completing a jump. Step 3 is to jump. And step 4, I can't slow it down because I can't. But step 4 is to land and return to starting position, which is our athletic landing position, okay? And now, when talking about my job and with the children at work, some of the biggest things that I see that it helps them with is actually being able to land on their feet, okay? Most kids really struggle with balance and stability and absorbing that force of when they land because they, one, don't have the correct range of motion and the correct posture to absorb that force and absorb that shock, which leads to them falling on the ground, right? 2 is because their muscles just aren't very strong. But by training this, by teaching them this position and the correct athletic stance for landing and for jumping, it's helping them, and I see it a lot. I've been there for a year and a half, okay? There's students that weren't able to even leave their foot, okay? They weren't able to jump. They would only leave 1 foot at a time because they were too scared to jump both feet, okay? And it wasn't necessarily because they were too weak. They just didn't understand the range of motion and the correct way to land on their feet. And now that they do, there's kids who are doing 24-inch box jumps that a year ago weren't, like I said, able to even leave their foot, okay? And it's awesome. The biggest thing I've seen too with the children is their knees. When they land, that's what makes them fall, is their knees cave inward and they don't have the strength in their muscles to stop it from happening, okay? And a big part of that is because they're asking their muscles to do this in an unideal or incorrect position or stretched, flexed position, okay? And now, I think kind of like the last, well, not the last minute, there's a lot, okay? But I think one of the biggest ones that I want to mention is the muscle balance between your hamstrings and your quads, okay? By doing this, by landing like this and jumping like that, you're allowing for your hamstrings to help your quads absorb and also produce to help you come back up, okay? One end, when you flex your knee, the hamstring here is going to shorten. But since we're hinging at the hips, our hamstrings on the upper side towards our glute is going to be stretched. And then vice versa, as we're jumping and coming up and our knee extends, the hamstrings here are going to lengthen. And as we extend at the hips, our hamstrings here are going to shorten, okay? So there's not much too much change in length in the hamstrings too when doing that, but it allows for a good activation of them. And with that, that is our athletic landing position and athletic stance.